What is going on, good people? What is going on? So we are here for another live. Man, it feels like it has been. Yep, and I still have my mic muted. So, what is going on, everyone? What's going on? It has been a minute since we've done a live. So yeah, man, I've actually wanted to do a live uh, for some time now, but time just hasn't allowed itself to allow that to happen. But today, we are rainy. Got a lot of rain last night. And I see Josh over here in Southern Maryland. Yep, we got last night. I think we had like an inch. We got over an inch last night. It's kind of been off and on showers and stuff here today. Fairly light rain today, like what we like to call that nice seed type rain, seed water and rain. So it has been good. It's been good. We got a little bit of heavy rain one day last week. But other than that, it's been like just the right amount of moisture. So we are here today just to talk about fall overseeding and renovations. I've had a number of questions, as I always do, and expect to get when this time of year comes around because just about everybody, especially if you're dealing with a cool season lawn, you're in this phase. Now is the time for you to start doing that, or you are doing this. I want to start with just kind of talking about the difference between the two. If you're just doing an overseeding or if you're going to do a full renovation. So if you're doing a full renovation, I can just about say it's too late to go do that right now. If you're going to be doing a full renovation, that should have started some time ago because you're going to have those multiple rounds of eliminating your existing lawn. That process should have already been started and should already be going. You should be getting ready to drop that seed if you haven't already. So that's the difference between the two. Having a full renovation, that's going to be when you're going to eliminate your existing lawn and you're going to be starting all the way back over from that new amazing seed of choice that you decide to go down with. So that is what a full renovation is. You can do partial renovations, which I have done myself. I did one last year in my front yard. So you can go back and check that video out that I have on my channel. I had a couple of areas that had a lot of the older variety fescues in there, and it just stood out from the newer cultivars that I was putting in. So it didn't blend very well. And I also had some grassy weeds in those areas. So I wanted to go ahead and get rid of that. I wanted to, yeah, I'm going for that immaculate lawn. So that's what it's going to take some time is eliminating some of those weeds and those other cultivars that are not going to be meeting what we're looking for. So I did do that, and that's a way that you can kind of eliminate some of those grassy weeds that are hard to control with some of the herbicides that are out there in a cool season lawn. So that is renovation portion of that. And then when I talk about a overseeding, that to me, in my opinion, that's what a renovation is. Anything outside of you eliminating your lawn completely or partially, that is what I categorize as a renovation. Anything outside of that, if you're just aerating and putting down seed down into an existing lawn, in my opinion, and what most categorize that as, you're just overseeding. That is the difference between the two as I talk through them, and some of the things that I've done and that I like to do. That's how I will categorize those. So this year, I just did an overseeding. I just did an overseeding on my lawn this year, and didn't really have didn't really think I needed to do a full renovation. I mean, there was really no need for me to go out there and do that. So I put down, well, before I get into seed, um, so my process for doing that. Y'all saw my video. If you have not seen that video, go back and check it out. That is one of the videos that I think this season, that was probably one of the best videos that I put out there personally that I liked. I kind of really liked the way that video came together. I like the flow of it. I hope you all enjoyed it, watching that video as much as I enjoyed putting it together. I really did like the way that one came out. So go back and check my video out. It shows the entire process of what I did this fall for my overseeding. So I went down with I went in, I did a dethatching. I decided not to aerate this year. And the dethatching, I really don't like the term dethatching, really, because you're not removing thatch. You're really just removing dead debris is all it is. So I went through the lawn, did a light dethatch on it, and removed all of that dead material. Yes, I did. Even though the lawn looked really good when I started doing it, there was a significant amount of debris that did die off in there, and it happens every year. I like being able to get that good seed to soil contact, and that's one of the things. That's one of the keys to getting grass seed to not only germinate but to grow and establish. Seed will just about germinate anywhere. To be honest with you, I mean, people have talked about it germinating in the back of their pickup trucks and on sidewalks and anywhere. Like, the seed will germinate in just about anywhere. But the thing comes in with seed to soil contact is getting it to establish and grow into that soil. That is where the seed to soil contact really comes in. So it's able to go down and establish those roots and establish itself in the lawn. And I see JMC. Yeah, it's more of a power rake, and as I called it in the video, that's what I like to refer to that better off as a power rake than it is a dethatch, because I think that there is a difference between the two. So I went down and went ahead and did that light dethatch on it. I only made one pass across the yard. I do have the Sunjo. Man, that little machine, I really think, I mean, I understand, like, for a heavy, I would say if you are a lawn care company that you were providing a service of dethatching or power raking, that wouldn't be a long-term type of piece of equipment. But I think for the average homeowner, and my yard is 7,000 square feet of turf, so giving that, I mean, I really, I don't think you can beat it for the price, and how well it does in performing the job that it needs. Like, it, the only thing that I hate about, or I'm gonna say hate. I don't know why do I like to hate stuff today. The one thing that I don't like about the Sunjo is it's got a cord. I'm not a fan of cords. I am not a fan of hoses either. As y'all have heard in my videos when I was spraying out the hydratane and also using the simple lawn solutions in their hose end sprayers. I am not a fan of dragging hoses. I'm not a fan of dealing with cords. So that is the only downside that I see to the Sunjo. And hey, they've got the battery option out there. I have not used it. I have not experienced it. The only thing that I have heard about it is that the battery life isn't as good if you're going to be dealing with a larger size lawn, which mine dealing with 7,000 square foot. It'd probably be a challenge for me to get it. It'd take multiple rotations of batteries for me to cover my entire 7,000 square foot, which is where I really think that the corded version does come in, because I don't have to worry about those batteries. That's one of the things that I'll have to continue to deal with. But for the money that I paid for it, and I got mine before the price went up, so I think mine was only like $100, if it was $100. So I feel like through the seasons that I've used it and what I've done, I've got my money worth out of it already. And I, man, I can't say anything bad about it. It just gets the job done, and it's light. It works great. I did do that dethatching, and then after that, I just went out and I seeded right after that, and that was about it. Seed and fertilizer. So that was my process. I went down. And did my dethatching. After that, I got all of that cleaned up. And then I had good open canopy ready for some seed to soil contact, and all of that was ready to go. And then my next step, I went in, I applied my fertilizer. I am one of the ones that I like to get all my stuff done on the same day. I understand the thought process behind waiting a little, like waiting until you get some germination and some growth to be able to put that application of fertilizer down, to kind of hold back some of your existing lawn's growth. I get it and I understand it. I just don't look at it that deeply, to be honest with you, because the way that I see it is, by the time you get germination, you'll normally get germination with a quality seed. Within 5 to 7 days, you're gonna have some germination. The seed has what it needs to get germinated within the seed. It doesn't need any fertilizer. It doesn't need anything like that to get going. So once that happens, now it is tapping into your soil. Your roots are going in, and at that point, it's going to start needing some nutrition. So that's normally, so you are 7 days in, 5 to 7 days in. If you apply a fertilizer at the time of seeding, it's not going to be readily available to the plant like that day. So it's going to be a couple of days before it gets into the soil and is actually available, depending on what the elements are for. If you're using AMS, if you're using urea, your nitrogen sources and your phosphorus and potassium sources, they come available at different time periods, depending on what that source material is in your fertilizer. So it's going to be about that time where it's going to be available in the soil. That's the way I like to do it. I understand it. I understand the reasoning behind it. But to me, I think we're talking a matter of a couple of days apart from those things. I don't get into that too much. I like being able to get it all done on that day, and then I can get back and I can get the water. I can sit back. I don't have to get back out on the lawn in another week or another week and a half just to go put out fertilizer. Like right now, I'm just sitting back chilling and watering wait. I'm just sitting back watching everything happen. And that's the way that I like to do it. I've had a lot of questions on how long do I have to wait before I can fertilize again, or when should I put fertilizer. That's my process. There's a number of ways that you can do it. A lot of people like to wait, but just to answer that question, I've gotten it so many times. I'm gonna fertilize at the time of seeding. I'm gonna be done with it. Professional landscape and lawn care companies have been doing it for years because they don't have the opportunity to get back around to all of those lawns again just to fertilize them again. Like, they've been doing it for years and it's been working, and so have I. That's the way that I've done it for the past 3 or 4 years that I've been doing it. So you'll be okay. It's not that detailed. So outside of that, the next thing, after I got the fertilizer down, I did put my seed down. I am using my spiker spreader. And when it comes to the seed, I am using the Mountain View seed. Their latest cultivar, their latest blend that I got from Newsom Seed actually has Dynamite in it, Raptor 3, and Titanium 2 LS. So those are the three cultivars that are in. If you are buying it from Newsom Seed here locally in Maryland, that is the blend that you will be receiving. I did go down with that seed, and when I showed up, they had a little split bag that they had did for another customer of the 365 SS. So I went on and I bought that too. And now I was able to blend in some of that 365 SS in there, which I always love a mixture of Kentucky bluegrass and tall fescue. So yeah, man, I definitely am a fan of that mixture. I went down with the 85-15 blend, which is one that I've used before, and yeah, I enjoyed the look of it, and it definitely performs well, and I've continued to use it. So seed was down. After I got seed down, I came back over the top with my liquids, and that was propiconazole and cider grow that went over top with that. So I went down and took care of that, and that again I did that on the day of seeding. And another question that I've gotten fairly a fair amount of times is it too late for me to put down the fungicide portion of it, or is it too late to put down like a biostim or anything like that? No, it's not. It's especially if you're going down with propiconazole or another biostimulant or something like that. There's not a period that is too late to do it. You're gonna be watering for a period of time to make sure you get as much germination as possible, and you're keeping that new little baby seedlings has enough moisture. So make sure that you are watering properly. If you do decide to go down with a fungicide like propiconazole, which I talked about the plant growth regulator properties in that that are in that fungicide. So it does slow down a little bit, just slightly. I mean, it's not going to be the effects of like a full blown PGR. But you're just kind of trying to hedge your bets a little bit on slowing down that existing lawn. So I went down with that, and also there's some research and stuff out there that that shows, and I've had a couple of people in my comments that have said they've seen increased germination and also seedling vigor from putting down a fungicide at that time or a little while after seeding or at the time of seeding. So I've got her. I didn't put that in the video because I personally have to go do some more reading up on it and get some more knowledge around that. But that information is out there, so you can go check it out and go research it and form your own opinion around it. I haven't quite experienced it yet. But I am gonna go do some more reading on it and see what additional research is out there and what they're saying about using propiconazole for increased seedling vigor and all of that stuff for the time of seeding or if you're doing a renovation. So appreciate that, Aldo. I think I had another. Did I get another super chat that came in earlier? Yes, CR, and Aldo. Appreciate y'all for the super chat. I'm trying to get through like my process first, and then I'm gonna jump over here and answer some of these questions because I do see y'all have some questions over here coming in. So once I got finished with my liquids, it's time to sit back and water. And watering is probably the most important part of that renovation or that overseeding process. You've got to have water. You've got to have water And we have definitely been blessed for this overseeding that I did. I think I did mine Labor Day weekend, and I think we got rain, a nice little shower the very next day or the day after, which gave everything a good, nice soaking. And yeah, we've had consistent little showers and stuff that have came through. It's kind of been cloudy, so the soil hasn't been drying out very much, kind of overcast. And then we'll get peaks of sun that'll come in. So I think I've only ran my irrigation cycle maybe 3 or 4 times throughout this whole week. So I'm about a weekend right now for since I did my seeding, and it's just been a blessing. It ain't nothing like that rain from up above, and it has really. I think some of my seedlings now are about an inch and a half, maybe getting closer to the 2 inches in some areas, in just that short amount of time. Like I said, I'm a week in, and some of them are at least an inch and a half. So moisture is key. Moisture is key. But the thing is, you don't want to keep it soggy. You don't want it soupy, where you've got puddling water. If you see puddling water, you're watering too much. Especially if you're doing a bare ground renovation, you do not want to see puddling. You're applying too much water. During this period, you'll be shorter cycles with more frequent cycles. So I don't like to tell people how long that cycle should be, because you have to determine that from your output of your irrigation, whether it's in ground or above ground. You want to keep that seed moist. You want to keep that top layer of soil moist. And again, you don't want it soupy. So right now, I'm actually running every 4 hours. Well, days that that it doesn't rain. So I think it's only been about a day or two that I actually ran a full cycle. I'm running 4 cycles for a period of time of my irrigation that gets me a good amount of soil moisture down there. So 4 times a day for that period of time, and all of mine are different. So different zones of my yard have different watering times. It's not like just across the board. I'm gonna run it for 10 minutes, or I'm gonna run it for 5 minutes. My shadier areas, they run for a shorter period of time, because that shade helps hold that moisture in there. So it does not need to run as long. My full sun areas, they run a longer period of time because, of course, in full sun, they're going to be drying out faster. So those are the factors that you got to look at when you're evaluating your watering cycles and everything. So I've got videos out about how you can set up above ground irrigation, temporary and everything. So go back and check those videos out. I actually may put together another video just kind of discussing what I just talked about. And that is your different watering cycles, and just a quick way that you can set up a little DIY irrigation system if you don't have an in-ground system already. So I think that is my process. I have walked you through my process. That's how I did it. That's how I do it. I don't get too detailed with it. I mean, to be honest with you, I think I've answered a couple of people and that have asked me questions, and I like to keep it simple when it comes to seeding. There's only a couple of things that it needs. It needs seed to soil contact. It needs water. And it needs sunlight. To be honest, that's really all it needs. That's all it needs. I mean, we like to do all of these additional steps and processes and these additional products to kind of give us the best bang for our buck and try to get the best results. But that's the criteria to get seed to grow and to get it to germinate. Like, I want y'all to keep it simple, and don't stress yourself over it. If you're gonna stress over anything, or if you're gonna spend a lot of time on something, spend it dialing in your irrigation. Spend it dialing in your water. How much water you're putting down, how often you need to put it down, and putting that cycle together. I think honestly that is where your time should be spent, in ground preparation, for getting good seed to soil contact, and dialing in your irrigation to provide proper water to keep the seed moist. That's where your time should go to. Everything else, I think, are bonuses. Everything else that you do are extra credit, if you want to call it that, but not necessarily required. That has got you all through my entire process. And now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to jump into the chat and start answering some of these questions. I see, where was the first one? Yeah, Southern Cali. Say y'all are dry. You need some of that water. Man, I'm gonna hold some of my water right now. Let me get through this week, and I'll send you the rest of it. I'll send you what what I have left over. I need about one more week of this good rain that we're getting, and then I'll send you the rest. You can have the rest of it. Poor Triv in my yard. I had a plant or two of it that I saw, but I haven't seen anything wide range or widespread throughout my yard. I've seen a plant or two here or there, and I had a little bit in those areas that I killed off last year, last fall. That was another one of the reasons. Like I said, some of the grassy weeds and the things that were hard to control. I did have some in those areas. So again, another way that you can do a partial renovation to kind of take care of that stuff, because Triv is, I mean, any of the pullas are just hard to control with a selective herbicide. Put some holy on water on that thing and let it ride. All right. So that was Triv. Garage Day Trader. Yeah, man, I don't know what you do about that. Maybe there's more behind that context of that statement. I don't know what you do about maybe you're talking about his lawn. I don't quite know about that one. Um, okay, y'all talking about Triv, y'all talking to each other. Uh, Janelle White, yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate you for watching the videos, man. I do. I got a. I'm not gonna say I was a little burnt out with making videos, but I went through a little low period, and I don't think I've told many people this, but the We Working team knows this. I got a little down, so my last video, the video that I made with Summer Canopy, Summer Canopy decline video. I was actually out of town when I finished that video up. I was just kind of out chilling on a balcony, a concrete balcony. Just finished the video up, just got everything done, had it uploaded to YouTube. Everything was good to go. And we were about to leave to go somewhere else. And I get up from where I was sitting on the balcony, and my external hard drive like falls out of my computer, becomes unplugged from my laptop, and falls on to the concrete. So needless to say, it was not a steady state hard drive. So I have no longer had access to the 2 years of content that I had created. So that put a little dampener on my drive and motivation to want to record and to want to be on screen and everything. So it was, I went through a little low period with that, and I that's kind of what was going on. But as y'all can see, I have gotten my motivation back. and I've pushed through it. I've continued to push through it, and I'm back pressing record again. I'm back with a presence on screen and on camera that I'm happy with. It was a couple of videos that I had started recording, but I just didn't like my energy in the video. Like it still came across that I was in pain about my hard drive. So I didn't put the videos out. Like I even stopped editing the videos. But I'm back. Like my last videos, I like my camera presence. I like my demeanor on it. So like I think I'm getting past the heartbreak, and I'm recording. I'm recording. So next questions, Power Ray. I mean. Yeah, you manually aerated your lawn today in the rain, and then power rate and overseeded. Yeah, I mean if you got rain in the forecast, get that seed down, especially if you're doing an overseed, because you'll get it worked down into the soil, and you don't really have to worry about that seed moving around too much if you're just doing an overseed, because you've already got your existing lawn there. They keep it from moving around. So yeah, I agree. I've had a lot of people ask me when should they seed and all of that. Look at your forecast. Take a look at your forecast, and if you got rain on the way or in the forecast, yeah, man, I say get out there and get that seed down on the ground. It'll definitely help. All right. What's going on, Q? I see you in here, former Q. Appreciate you for coming through. James McNair, you're in Maryland. Aerate on Wednesday. You got your Mountain View seed going down with the protein for your starter. Okay. What spreader setting should you be using for both of those products? I haven't seeded with my Scott spreader in a while, and I cannot remember what it is. I use the Scott's Mini is what I had before. I did get the Deluxe. I did not like the Deluxe. I did not like it at all. I literally went back and stopped using that one. I gave it to one of my friends that was getting in. He had just got a lawn, and he was getting into it, and it was a good starter. It was a good starter spreader for him. So I gave it to him, and I went back to my little mini. People hate those little minis, but I love my mini, my Scott's Mini, and I have seen it so many yards, but that little bitty Scott's Mini, it gets the job done for me. But I cannot remember what the setting is. James, if you could send me a message, I don't know if you're on Instagram or not. If you can send me a message on Instagram or send me an email, Cameron at elevatedlawnscapes.com. That is Cameron at elevatedlawnscapes.com. Send me an email, and I'll go outside after this video, and I'll check and see which one I'm using for my my Scott's Mini. But if you look at a Scott's bag of fertilizer, they will give you. I know you're using the protein, but they'll give you somewhere a ballpark to start, and that protein is a really small prill. So you want to have used that before, so you're gonna have a low setting. And a lot of the Scott's fertilizers, especially the Turf Builder, it's a really small prill. So it should get you in the ballpark. It should get you close to where you need to be. But as far as for the seed, I can go out there and I can see what setting, because I think the last thing I put down on it was seed. Another option is also what I did was you can go look at a bag of Scott's Tall Fescue seed and see what spreader setting they're recommending. Because most fescue seeds are going to be about the same size. So you can use that also as a starting point. Go look at you can Google it and just look at it and see what Scott's is recommending for their spreader setting on their tall fescue seed. That's a good way to get a starting point also. So yeah, that's I think that should cover that on your question. Yeah, we were talking about the Sun Joe. Yeah, appreciate that, and branch about my videos. I appreciate that. Amazon had a sale on it for 80 today. Oh, was that $80 for the Sun Joe? Man, that might have been a better price than what I paid for it. JMC on the groundskeeper rake. Yes, I have a groundskeeper rake. I use the groundskeeper rake on my edges because the Sunjo, it doesn't really get all the way up to your edges. Um, so yeah, I will come back and I'll hit my edges with that groundskeeper rake. And I also use my groundskeeper rake for after I've seeded. If I'm doing a bare ground seeding, I'll take that groundskeeper rake or a metal tine rake and just pull it across the bare ground and kind of incorporate that seed into that soil, so that seed is not just sitting directly on top of the soil. I don't like my seed just sitting there on top of the soil. So I will take that and I'll drag. You don't have to rake it in. You just need to just drag that metal tine rake across it, and it'll incorporate that seed into the soil. And again, giving you that good seed to soil contact. Once you get some water on it and you get it watered in really good that first time, I typically run a longer watering cycle on my very first watering because I want to get it. I want things to settle, and I wanted to get make sure that seed is incorporated into that soil, so to kind of start holding things in place. So that's one of the other ways that I like to use that groundskeeper rake. That good seed to soil contact, you get it in there. Um, that's all you need, man. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and that's that's a good thing. Fest UC is about a 4.5. I'll say yes, Josh. I see you're talking. Probably responding back regarding what setting he's using 4.5 to 6 on the Scott's Elite. Got it. No peat moss needed. Oh man, that is a that's a I don't know what you want to call it, but that's almost like a trigger warning for me. Be on the lookout. I do not use peat moss. Be on the lookout. I've got a video coming around that. So if you're in this live, you got a little bit of a teaser about that. Um, I don't use peat moss, and I've got some opinions, and that's all they are. They're my opinions on peat moss. Uh, and we will just leave it at that. I need germination and branch talking. I need germination before these leaves fall and raking. Yeah, exactly. That's another reason I'm in the same boat with you. My leaves are already falling, and I think you may have seen it in some of my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, go over and check out my Instagram page, Elevated Lawnscapes. I post more frequently on there of like the real time what's going on. So if you want to keep up a little bit more, slide over to my IG page, and we do we mowing Mondays. Of course, I haven't been able to mow last week, or I won't be mowing this week. But it will be a updated post. So the We Working team, we will do a We Mowing Monday post, and we'll also do We Working Wednesdays, which will be a post of something that we've got going on. Most of the time, it'll be a reel, but it doesn't always have to be a reel. But typically on We Working Wednesdays, we'll give the people a nice little reel that we'll put together. So yeah, check it out on IG. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Like you can see my leaves are already starting to fall. That's another reason why I typically start a little bit earlier, because I need that grass established, or at least up, before I got to get out there and start trampling on it to keep the leaves off of it. And if you are in that situation, definitely keep the leaves off. Like the leaves will, especially when you're adding that water and or you're getting rain, that seed will mat down against the ground and it will smother out that new seedling and it will kill it. That will definitely be a demise of your recent overseeding or your renovation. And I've seen perfect imprints of where the grass is just dead and it was just a leaf right there. As soon as you pull that leaf back, it's just bare ground, nothing. So if you're battling with that, definitely keep them leaves up. Hey, what's going on, Super TA? Out here now. Yep. Okay, you got that Pro Vista 1 month. 1 month to prepare, and now it rains. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to what you're building out there, man. You've got a big project going out there, Super TA, and I'm looking forward to your results. I like how clean your backyard is, man. This is like everything is in place and clean. I mean, this I like it. I really like it. I like what you're doing up there. I like that you also like to push the envelope a little bit, and you're definitely not scared of a little bit of work. So keep it up, man. Keep it up. What you're doing out there. I like what you're doing. I wish I could clean my yard up that much, but with the leaves and branches and stuff that's always falling, I blow it out and I try to keep stuff as clean as I can, but it's just like stuff is constantly falling around here with all of these trees. Trini, what is going on? Glad you're joining. One of the longtime viewers and listeners. Questions. How long after renovating do I need to add more seed and fertilizer? Also, do I need a fungicide for a renovation? Um, so, how long after do you need to add more seed or fertilizer? I typically give it, because I mean, it's going to take germination, all doesn't happen at the same time. You get your early risers and then you got your late risers. So, I typically, especially if you're doing tall fescue, I would give it about 2 weeks um, before I went out and started thinking about adding more seed. And only in those areas where it was almost bare, like I almost didn't get any germination or I missed a spot or something like that. But if I have a decent amount of germination, but maybe it may look a little thin, but it's kind of a uniform germination throughout it, I'd give that area till about the 3 week mark, because it all doesn't germinate at the same time, especially if you're dealing with a tall fescue. And then if you're dealing with a uh, Kentucky bluegrass, Kentucky bluegrass is slow. Like it'll get into its sprout and pout phase where it will come up and it'll sit there. A lot of the newer cultivars, you'll get quick germination. Most of them will germinate about the same time as everything else, within that 5 to 7 day, 10-day range. You'll get that germination, but then it just kind of sits there for a little while at that phase, and then all of a sudden it'll take back off and start growing. Make sure I'd say when start evaluating it at that 2 to 3 week mark of going back down with some additional seed, and that's depending on that's the fact that you haven't had like any major washouts. You can see a washout, like as long as we're not talking washouts and stuff. If you've had a washout and the seed is just gone, yeah, just go ahead and get back out there and fix that. But if you're just talking from a germination standpoint, I look at it about that 2 week mark, start evaluating it, and if you want to go down with more seed. From a fertilizer standpoint, I'll fertilize at the time of seeding, and I'll normally give it 3 weeks or so after that to go down, and then I'll be going down with my next round of fertilizer at that point. And then your next question, fungicide for a renovation. It can help because your new grass is going to be very vulnerable. You're going to be adding a lot of water, a lot of moisture, um, and it is your humidity and all of that stuff is still going to be up. So getting a fungicide down on a renovation once it's up is not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. A lot of people have gotten Pythium in a newly renovated lawn just due to all the moisture. So going down, which of course it depends on what fungicide you went down with, but if you've had Pythium pressure, I would be very diligent in looking for that because Pythium will wipe out a newly renovated lawn or new grass seed quick. And it'll do that in an established lawn, but it's even worse in a newly renovated, that new baby grass. It'll wipe it out quick. But yes, fungicides. Yes, I am actually probably getting ready at the 2 week mark. I'll probably be going down 2 to 3 weeks, somewhere in there. I'll probably be going down with my next round of fungicides, just trying to make sure I stay on top of it because the ground really needs to dry out right now, to be honest with you. It looks water drunk. I like calling it water drunk, whereas it just doesn't have that color that it normally does, or the vigor that it normally has. It really needs to dry out a little bit. So yeah, keep those fungicides handy. We're not out of the ballpark yet with disease pressure, so I agree with keeping it handy and going down with it. Already hollered at Aldo. I need 5 pounds of perma soil sample recommendation. James May. So I need 5 pounds of 2100 per your soil sample recommendation. So I guess you're adequate in all your other nutrients. And I'm assuming also we're talking cool season lawn. Yep, you're talking tall fescue. So yeah, if you're good in all your other nutrients and all you need to go down with is your nitrogen, so yeah, you should overseed and you should start feeding it. Again, now is the time to be feeding your cool season lawn, where temperatures are starting to cool down, and at this point, it's time for you to start getting that nutrition into the plant. You don't want to wait till the end of November or wait till November to just start feeding your lawn. The plant is not going to be taking up nutrients that much. So I am going to start feeding my lawn heavily in about another week or two. It's gonna it's gonna start getting hit heavy with some nutrients. So we do have a fertilizer blackout here in Maryland, so I only have until November 14th. After November 14th, I cannot apply. Well, I can as a certified applicator. I can apply fertilizer, but for the average homeowner, you are not allowed in Maryland. You are not allowed to apply fertilizer containing nitrogen and phosphorus. You can apply potassium, but not a whole lot of benefit in doing that, in my opinion, after November 15th. So get it down, overseed it, and feed it. I see no issues with that at all. I think now is the best time for you to do any seeding. Because if you wait and try to do it in the spring, in my opinion, you'll have less success in the spring than you will in the fall. So get out there and get after it. That's my recommendation. In Maryland. Yeah. All right. So I think we already answered that one, James, about your spreader settings. Thank you, CR. I appreciate that. Charles Pickett. throw some pre-germinating seeds. I'm interested in it. Pre-germinating seeds, I am interested in it. I have not done it before, but I am interested in trying it. It seems I know a lot of professionals do it. They'll pre-germ seeds and get it spread out. I haven't, like I said, I haven't done it, but I'm interested in doing it, and I may do it. I may do it. I've still got my front strip area out there that I still need to seed. I need to level and seed that. That may be an opportunity for me to try pre-germing some seeds. Being that I am still mostly working from home now, I can get out there and I can change the water and everything as I need to for getting that set up. So I've started looking into that process a little bit before, and I like the sound of it. And it would definitely cut back on some of the watering that you would have to do to get seed to germinate. If you've already got them pre-germed, you can save a little bit of water and stuff during that period of time. Um, but then you'd have to increase your watering once it's down just to get it established. You've got it sprayed out. But yeah, man, I like the idea of it, and I'm interested in trying it. So yeah, I might dabble in that just a little bit. Uh, Rendell, there's a. All right, you seeded, and there was a lot of dew on the grass. Should go over the lawn again with some more seed. I don't think you should go down with more seed at this point, because you were getting good coverage. I mean, you were spreading it out. Assuming you were using a spreader, and you've got that coverage there. And I'm guessing what happened is it just stuck to the leaf blade as you were putting it down, and it hit that wet leaf blade, and it just kind of stuck there. Um, it'll dry off and it'll work its way down into the soil. I'm not sure when you did this, but it'll work its way down to the soil, and then also as you start watering and everything, that seed it'll make its way off of the leaf blade. You could, if you wanted, I don't know if you have a roller, that may be an option to go out there, or just drag your rake through it. That may help. But to be honest with you, I let it dry out. Once the dew dries and stuff, you can drag your rake through there, and that'll work. Get that seed off of the leaf blade, get it down to the soil, and then just start watering. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just get that. Just allow that seed to get down there into the ground. It'll find its way there. Uh, yeah. Okay, Charles. So you said you did pre-germ some seed and it worked out well. What kind of seed were you using? Was it KBG or tall fescue or rye? What seed you go down with? I'm I'm really interested in being able to do that. It's the watering. I mean, just being able to save some of that water. I mean, we're trying to be better stewards and stuff of the land and everything, and a lot of people are getting down with a lot more watering restrictions. So we've got to start thinking ahead in case if we do end up in one of those watering restriction type things, you'll be able to still be able to get these things done that we need to do uh, in a more efficient manner with like less water. So pre-german seeds and getting it down, and I'm pretty sure you'll have to change your watering cycle as you stated here. Once you've got it down, you're gonna need a little bit more water than like just your standard weekly watering cycle. But yeah, let me know what seed you were going down with, and I'm glad to hear that worked out well for you. Rendell, you know, I was trying to. Get it down before you took the kids to school. Yeah. Hey man, no problem. There, we got to get out there and get it done when we can. A lot of times it's not the most optimal time to be able to get things done, but you'll be fine, man. That seed is the seed is on the ground or it's sitting there. It'll find its way down to the soil. The only thing that I would say is like I'm pretty sure you've already done this at this point. Uh, if I had that if I had that happen, I would have waited until the dew kind of dried off of it and the leaf blades were dry. I would have took like a metal tined rake and I just would have drugged that like through the lawn and just made passes back and forth just to knock that seed off of the leaf blade and make sure it got down to the soil. And then I would have picked up my water. That's all I would have done. And then you could have just also just started water. Just gave it a good watering cycle. That probably would have got it down to the ground also. And then rain will help it. You get some rain, it'll work that seed down. You'll be fine, bro. Don't worry about it. What's my height of cut for the summer heat in Maryland? Keep his at about 4 1/4 in the summer, and those some great leaf spot this year. All right, so height of cut. I have two. I've got two height of cuts. So my backyard, it's more shaded, and it gets a little more shade back there. So I keep that at 3 inches, and I like the way it looks at 3 inches. I my front yard, I am at. I think this year I was at about 3.5, about 3.5, 3.75 in the front yard. The front yard gets more sun, and it looked good and it held up. I see the benefits of having the taller, keeping your fescue tall, and I think it all depends on your other environmental conditions. And that's one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about when there's like, hey, it's tall fescue, you just got to cut it tall. Uh, Not quite, not really necessarily. It depends on your other environmental conditions, as in, or your microclimates. So, I've got a number of microclimates in my lawn. I've got full sun, I've got partial sunshade, and I've got heavy shade. So, what I have found out is in those microclimates with the additional shade, it does not like to be cut tall at all. It doesn't like it, which is why I've ran into a lot more disease pressure in those scenarios. One of those reasons of why is because those shadier areas, they hold more moisture, and you've got that tall grass sitting there. It wants to lay over. It's going to hold all of that moisture, and it just reduces some of that airflow and everything through there, and you end up with disease problems. Again, you're at that higher height of cut, and you saw more gray leaf spot this year. There are other environmental conditions that you need to look at when deciding your height of cut. So I'm not sure if you're full sun or if you're shaded, or whatever your conditions are. Take a look at that. If you are shaded, I would not be cutting at 4 1/4. If you are full sun, I think you can get away with that, but you don't have to cut it that high. That's one of the things that I think I like a lower height of cut than that really tall, and I've done it before. Like I've cut at 4 1/4 before. That's high as my Toro will cut. But over this season, I've grown. I think the grass performs better. I think it looks better. And if you're dealing with the newer cultivars of like Mountain View Seed, they don't like to be cut that high. They really, I think I've had it at that 4.25, and I've had it at 3, and I've had it at about 3.5. In my opinion, I think the window is between 3 and 3.5, 3.75, for those like newer Mountain View seed varieties. I don't think they like to be cut at that high, because looking at them, I've got it in my test plot, and as I've brought the height of cut down and also using it in my backyard, it just it grows better, it stands better, the grass just seems happier at a lower height of cut. So 3 to 3.75 on those newer Mountain View seed cultivars, I think is your sweet spot. But again, if you are non-irrigated and you're full sun, there's some benefits to having a higher height of cut when you get into the summer. If you're gonna be, we get into those hot and dry periods. It will. There are some benefits to having a higher height of cut. You'll help conserve some of that moisture and everything in there. The turf won't dry out as quickly with that higher height of cut when we get into those dry periods. So again, like I said, there's a lot of other factors that go into determining your height of cut, but I think I went through a number of them. If you're going to be full sun, non-irrigated, you could go with a 4-inch height of cut. I see the benefits of it, but you can play around with it. I think those newer cultivars are a little more drought resistant and drought tolerant, and you can get away with those lower heights of cut, maybe 3.5 instead of going at 4.25. Try 3.5. Play around with it. When it gets really hot and really dry, and you're non-irrigated, just stay off of it. That's another beneficial thing that you can do. Is when it starts to dry out and it starts to stress, leave it alone. just let it be until we get some rain, and the grass starts growing, and it tells you, hey, I need a cut. But other than that, if it's just kind of almost in that summer dormancy, just barely holding on, leave it alone. If you're not going to be watering it, leave it alone until we get some rain and it comes back, and it comes back and it starts growing, and say, hey buddy, I need a cut, get out here. So I hope that answered it. I think height of cut, and just kind of there's a lot of factors that go in there to that one. Okay, Charles, fescue rhizome. Okay, gotcha. What is going on? I think that's Greg. Also. Glad to see you doing a live again with your preference for fescue seed for renovation. I am Mountain View seed all the way. I don't care if it's a renovation, overseed, a patch seed, any kind of seed. Only thing you'll hear me talking about is Mountain View seed. That is my preference. That is a seed that I have seen perform well. I've liked the looks of it, and I just like the seed. There's nothing. That's my opinion. I'm not going to go out there and say that there's not a equivalent or better seed out there, but that is what I like. I like the cultivars that are in it. They perform well, and on top of that, I can buy it locally whenever I need it, and also support a local small business here in doing that. So I definitely like the Mountain View seed. I have used the GCI. I've used peat seed before. I had that when that was my first renovation, and that seed looked good. That grass looked good. That was like that was my first introduction into renovations and lawn care, and I had just put my irrigation in and everything. So I like peat seed. Peat seed is good. The only thing is that now shipping prices have went up. Like the cost of getting that seed is a little more expensive than what I can get local Mountain View seed for. I actually have a client's lawn that I did a full renovation on that one. I think it's been almost 2 years ago now, and it is 100% GCI. And she chose not to do an aeration and overseeding last year. And so this year it's only been, that yard has only had one seeding on it. And man, it still looks good. Um, she gets, I've been over outside talking to her, and other neighbors have been walking by, and they'll be like, man, your lawn looks good. It looks good. Um, and she's constantly getting comments on it, and I think she's one of my happier clients that I actually did a full renovation for. So that's another good option for fescue seed. Is peat seed. Like I said, it's a little more pricey when you're dealing with shipping and all of that. So look at your NTEP trials also. Take a look at the NTEP trials and see what's up at the top of the results of the NTEP trials, and see what seed companies are using those seed cultivars. That's another way that you can go about it. NTEP trials, they've ran that seed through the paces, and you can kind of pick out what you're looking for in your seed, and find out what seed companies are using those cultivars. So that could be, if you're looking for color, if color is a big thing for you, or drought resistance or disease resistance, it'll show you which seed cultivars perform better in those categories. So that would be another option for you to look at in determining what's a good quality seed to go for, and you can evaluate your local ones. So you can go to your local distributor, your landscape supply, and figure out where you can go buy seed. You can, because it's going to be right there on the tag what those cultivars are that's in that seed blend, and then you can go back home, Google, look at the NTEP trials, see where that seed cultivar falls on the NTEP trials, and then you can evaluate and say, hey, this is pretty good seed, or nah, this seed is probably not so good. And you can decide to go with a different blend. That can help you find something locally that you'll be able to get. And that's kind of how I fell into the Mountain View seed thing a little bit also. I found seed cultivars that I wanted, and then I started looking around. Started calling around, and I was Googling what different seed blends and everything. And then I actually found the Mountain View seed had majority of those in there in the top choice, and I could get it from a local landscape supply company. So yeah, that's kind of how I went down that rat hole of finding Mountain View seed. All right. If y'all have any other questions or anything else, just go ahead and pop them in the chat. We'll keep rolling. Like, I've got a rainy day here, and we'll keep rolling through this thing for a little bit. And if y'all have continuously got questions, I'll stay here and hang out for a little bit. And if you don't, hey man, we'll call it a show. Uh, all right. Next up, Trini with the question: are those big box store fungicides such as Advance good, or I got you. Trini, I got this exact same question on our IG at one point. In my opinion, those fungicides work. I'm not gonna say that they don't work. They work. They will get the job done. I prefer a higher percentage. And that higher concentration is giving you more active ingredient to go help fight the fight for you against the disease. If I have the option of having, and I'm going to battle, and I have the option of having a 10 round clip or a 13 or 14 or 16 round clip, I'm going to go with the bigger clip. I want as much ammunition as I can get when I'm going to battle. Those fungicides do work, but the concentration of active ingredient is lower in those products. And I'll just kind of leave it at that, and that's why I kind of go with the professional grade fungicides, because of that higher active ingredient. And in addition to that, getting that higher or concentration of active ingredient, you use less product, and then that extends the amount of product that you have. You don't have to use as much, and you can buy less. Okay, it may cost you more up front, but that one bottle may now last you 2 seasons, instead of you having to go buy 3 bags in a season every season, or multiple bags in a single season. And also, granular versus, I know you didn't ask this, but I'll talk about it. Granular fungicides versus liquid fertilizers or fungicides. I prefer liquid fungicides, and from a coverage standpoint, and you just get to, in my opinion, and I think there's a lot of people that kind of agree with this, you get a better coverage in doing that, and you also are able to get it into the plant a little quicker than what you would for a granular that has to get watered in, broken down, and all of that before it comes available or works its way into the plant. So I think those are another couple of reasons for the liquids. So I like going down with all of my fungicides are sprayed. They may start off as a water dispersible, but it ends up as a liquid that I spray. All right, so I hope that answers your question. Hey, how you doing, Grace? Glad to see you in here. Can you mix the propiconazole with Tenacity? I know you don't use Tenacity. Yeah, you're right about that. But I recommend and I will use Tenacity on a bare ground seeding. Tenacity is good for that. And I did some bare ground seeding and I forgot it. I forgot to put the Tenacity in the tank when I did that area. And I can already see like little weed seeds and stuff popping up, but we'll deal with that. I have not mixed, so somebody else asked me this also. I have not mixed the two together before, but since I've got this question a couple of times, I may go do a jar test. I may just go, and that's what I recommend people to do, is go do a jar test and find out. Because if you are tank mixing a number of products, if you're taking those two products together, it is always recommended that you do a jar test for compatibility before you mix up a whole tank, and then you find out these two products don't mix, and you got a big gelled sludge mess inside of your tank of your sprayer. So yeah, doing a jar test will consist of taking, I like to use glass. I went to the local Dollar Tree and got me some glass containers, and I'll fill the quart glasses. I'll normally fill those about halfway up or so with water, and then I will mix in a portion of the first product that I'm going to be applying, mix that up, and then pour in the second product. And I will mix that up and then let it sit and see what happens. Typically, if they don't agree and they're not compatible, you will see it almost instantly. Like it will. I have been there and done that. And the reason I am a proponent of doing jar tests, and even though it is definitely recommended, it's on all the labels, and I I thought that I had did this combination before, so I didn't do a jar test, and I swore that I had did this combination before, but I had a full tank ready to go. I put the first product in, got it mixed up. That was full amount that I needed in there, and then I added in my second product that I was tank mixing, and it went to a sludge almost immediately as it hit the water surface, and I was like, oh. And they were too expensive products. Like it was too it was too expensive products. That's kind of how I do my jar test. I'll fill it up with some water, put the first product in, make sure it's mixed up in there, and then I will pour in the second product, mix that up, let it sit, and then see what the results are. Training. Yeah, you can't stand the granular fungicides either. Yeah, nah, I can't. Yeah. Jumping on the Rendell, jumping on the hybrids train soon. Yeah. How long after germination should you wait to apply? I'd say 2 to 3 weeks, anywhere within that range. Yeah, anywhere between the 2 to 3 weeks. Get back out there, and then it depends on how much fertilizer you're putting down. I usually don't like to go down with. At the time of seeding, I only went down with a quarter pound of N at my time of seeding, because again, there's not really a need for me to try to push a whole lot of growth at that point in time, but I wanted to feed the lawn to make sure that it was going to recover from help it recover from all the stress and the beating up and stuff that we just did to it. So I wanted to feed it, and I wanted to have something there for that new seed when it started to come up. And then I will come back. I'm at week 1, so probably next week, which will be week 2 for me. I'm going back down with I'm going with a half a pound. I'm going with a half a pound to N, and that's going to be a half a pound every 2 weeks from here on out. It's feeding time. It is feeding time. I'm going down with a half a pound every 2 weeks from here out. So I hope that answers your question there. Robin P. Blanchard. My backyard is tall fescue. Reno has failed year over year. Soil testing, all things considered. It's sunlight. Should you, okay, other than the only difference is sunlight, to build a strong saying, should you intentionally apply more in this year? Not necessarily. Just because if you're, I'm gonna guess what's facing the maximum sun. My guess is if you are, let me see, if you're struggling in the shaded areas, I would not add additional in. I would really shady areas actually require less in. But I wouldn't go above and beyond just because like you're in that area. you need more sunlight. If your shady areas are the ones that are struggling, the solution is to get more sunlight to it, or switch to a blend, or a grass type that is going to be more shade tolerant. Uh, those are your solutions. I wouldn't just add more in to try to accommodate that. One of the things that I have done is, in my shadier areas, I've watered less. I've lowered my height of cut. That's how I ended up with a 3-inch height of cut in the back. And as of this year, if y'all that are still here in this live, the 18 people, I did tree work. I talked about doing it. I'll make a video on it, but I did tree work. So I cut out a decent amount of limbs off of one tree that was providing a lot of shade for the back portion of my lawn. So it's getting a lot more sunlight in there. This may be the first round. I may trim back some more come next fall. So we'll see how it goes this year. But I am getting more sunlight than what I had previously, which then means you got to adjust your watering cycles and all of that. But sunlight is key. So if your full sun areas are struggling, and I saw your west facing maximum sun, so I'm going to try to address that on there too. Yep. So now you just put it in chat. Yep. So if you're talking about your full sun areas, yeah, you may not be providing enough you may not be providing enough nutrition to it, or it may not be getting enough water, or you could have disease pressure. So there's a number of things that could be going on there, and it's not necessarily always in base. It completely checks out by July, middle Tennessee. So you're deep into the transition zone. July is hot. Pretty sure it's dry. Darling, I don't know if are you irrigated? Are you irrigated? Because what I'm looking at this, where you are from a location standpoint, and you're talking about your full sun areas, let me know if you're irrigated. Is your lawn irrigated or non-irrigated? And then and if you are, how is your coverage and how are you irrigating? How much water are you putting down? So there's a lot of so you are irrigated. Okay. So making sure you're getting enough water down, and then the next thing is disease pressure. So if you're in that transition zone come about July, you're definitely starting to deal with a lot of disease pressure. Even for me up here in Maryland, my highest disease pressure times hit in July, and I have been wiped out. Y'all have seen it in July. A lot of lawns that I have seen, and even people that haven't let me know that they're starting to see disease pressure. July is rough. July is rough. If you're getting enough water down, and you are still fertilizing, not heavily, by July, you should have most of your fertilizer already down on the ground by like the end of June. And then you can just do a little bit of spoon feeding through the rest of the summer. I don't like heavy doses of fertilizer after middle of June, or early June, actually. Early June. I think that's when I cut mine off. Early June is like my last, and when I say heavy, I'm talking maybe half a pound or something like that. I definitely like to keep my fertilizations through the summer light and in a spoon feeding manner, maybe quarter pound every 3 weeks or something like that, just to give it a little something to keep it fed and keep it going. So water, make sure you're not dealing with disease pressure, and make sure you're getting in a little bit of food. Right now, for your full sun areas, yes, you need to feed it. Feed it heavily right now, per your laws and guidelines of your state. But now is the time to feed cool season lawns. You anywhere from a pound and a half, um, anywhere from a pound and a half to 2 pounds during the fall will help set you up for next spring and going into next season. Looking at what your yearly total is, anywhere from 4 pounds, 3 to 4 pounds of N is what you should be looking at for a season total on like a tall fescue lawn. Yeah, now that we're talking full sun areas, you should be feeding it, whether it's in the shade or not right now. Right now, you should be feeding a cool season lawn. I would aim for a pound and a half ish. Pound and a half this fall should get you there. And from a season total, look at trying to get about 4 pounds down. And less if you've already got an established lawn. I saw that you said a renovation, but once it needs a little bit more when it's trying to get established. But once it gets established, you can kind of cut that back. Because I'm down to about 3 pounds, 3.5 pounds of N for the season on mine last year. All right, DeAndrea, let me see. I see you got a question here. For a lawn with a heavy weeds, should I focus on killing the weeds rather than aeration and overseeding this year? Just got a home and need to repair the lawn. Tall fescue as a grass type. Where are you located? DeAndrea, if you can let me know where you are located. I would say you still should overseed. You should still aerate and overseed. The only thing that I'm asking where you're located is I'm trying to figure out your timing for overseeding. Because what I would like to recommend is that you go down with a herbicide and take care and knock those weeds back so that you can make more space for your new seed to come up. That is what I would like to recommend, but depending on where you are, you may be getting close to being out of that window to be able to do that. Because a lot of herbicides have a reseed window that you're not able to reseed. Some of them are 3 weeks, some of them are 2 weeks, some of them are upwards of 4 weeks that you are not. It is not recommended for you to reseed during that window. Let me know where you are located, and I can go. Oh, you're in North Carolina. You're in Charlotte. Okay, so you've got some time. You've got some time down in North Carolina. I would recommend doing a herbicide application for your weeds. Treat your weeds, then overseed. So we're middle of September. That'll put you seeding potentially end of like the early October time frame. I think you'll be fine down in North Carolina. It stays warm enough down there. I'm from North Carolina, so it'll be warm enough still for you to be able to do that then. So my recommendation stands. Put down a herbicide application, knock those weeds back, get some of them taken care of, and then aerate and overseed this fall. Feed it. You said it's a new lawn. So get you a soil test before you put down any fertilizations. Get you a soil test to figure out what nutrients and stuff are needed for you, whether you need to go down with a starter fert at the time of seeding or what nutrients you need to put down at the time of seeding. So, yep, go down with your herbicide. Make sure you get you a soil test, aerate, overseed, and then feed it this fall. Come springtime, you're probably going to deal with some more weeds come the spring, but the winter will help kill back some of them. Make sure you get your pre-emergent down in the spring, and then once your pre-emergent is down, you can, and it warms up, get out there and take care of the rest of your weeds that may still be around, and get on your fertilization plan for the season. And that would be my recommendation and how I would take care of it, and I think you'll be fine. All right, that was a good question. I like that one. I like the Charlotte area too. So there may be I do like the Charlotte area. I need to make a couple more visits down to the Charlotte area. Uh, y'all know I'm from North Carolina, so I like that area. Grace, I saw you had some. You were in here talking about a couple of things. Cider growing propiconazole. I did mix the two. Um, I went down with my cider growing propiconazole at the same time. Two options: water plus prop or change the grass type. Yeah, I agree. Millennium Man, I think you were talking about the conversation we were having about your yard checking out. Yeah, make it, and the right grass type in the right location is important. And growing a fescue in mid Tennessee, you saw my reaction when I read that to start with. I was like, it's gonna be tough. Like it's gonna be tough. So yeah, if it continues the fail you, if you continue to be a struggle, it may be time to change the grass type, and just make your life easier, and that's always an option. Like I am a huge supporter of finding the right grass type and growing grass. No, I'm a huge supporter of growing grass where grass wants to grow. Like and finding that right grass type, that is down there. You're in Middle Tennessee. You're almost better off with a warm season grass. I know you probably don't want to look at it dormant in the winter, but uh, it will definitely make your summers a lot a lot easier than trying to keep a cool season lawn alive. See, Grace was talking about hydrotain. Yep, that's always an option. Last question, Trini. No man, you're yeah, y'all are all right. I'll keep answering your questions. Which should I go with? Propiconazole or azoxy? Um, it depends on what you have used before. So fungicides, you want to keep those on a rotation. So I went down with prop on my first application, so I will be going down with something else on this next application. You want to keep those in rotation. So I haven't decided what that something else is gonna be. It'll probably either be a Zoxy or Armada, is what I'll go down with. The only thing is Armada is still a group 11 and 3, I think, fungicide, which is in the same categories with propiconazole. So I may end up going down with something different. Uh, so I would say it depends on what you went down with on your first. If you went prop, go Azoxy. If you went Azoxy before, go prop because you want to keep those in rotation. Um, you and the reworking team are very knowledgeable and great together, bro. You may thank you for our content. Much appreciated. I appreciate that, Trini. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. We enjoy doing this. The reworking team, like I said, everybody's our schedules are pretty busy right now. We've kind of tried, and then we all know turf is over in Germany, so it's pretty late over there for him right now. And then he was working with young Noah, young Prince over there. So Yeah, man, we are still together. We are still talking. We talk on an everyday basis. I keep looking over at the corner of my screen, hoping that one of them will pop on if they've got some time. But yeah, man, it's we enjoy doing this. We enjoy bringing the content to y'all. And speaking of content, Turf and Polo both dropped a video today. If you have not checked those out, y'all go check those videos out. Um, Polo dropped a renovation video using simple tools that you can get from Home Depot. He turned around a lawn that looked like a jungle, and he's got it seeded, got to get it watered right now, and is probably going to be seeing some germination here soon. And I'm pretty sure he'll do a follow up on that. But he took you through the entire steps of taking a lawn from a jungle to being seed on the ground. So y'all go check that one out. A nice little video there from Polo. Turf gave you one of these videos that was definitely Turf Productions. Uh, Turf put it together a very nice video, taking you from start to finish of a sand leveling, and also giving you some good information that a lot of people are not talking about in sand leveling. If you're dealing with a lower height of cut type of lawn, or if you're doing a little bit of sand leveling this fall, just to get some things leveled out in your lawn, Turf dropped some knowledge in there and gave y'all a little extra content in there also. So, yeah, man, go check those two videos out from the reworking team. I dropped two videos last week. I didn't have another one in me for to drop with the guys today, but I also had a busy weekend. So y'all get a live instead of a video. Y'all get me instead of getting me for 6 to 10 minutes. Y'all have got me for almost 2 hours now. We working. We always working. So we're gonna get in here and take a look at some more of these comments. This year drought was bad. Yep, in Middle Tennessee. Yep. So I agree with you there, Charles Pickett. Like just water is key. Like just trying to grow tall fescue in the transition zone, especially that far down in the transition zone, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. You're gonna have to stay on top of things. Gotta stay on top of things. Front yard is already you already overseeded your Robin. You already overseeded your front yard. Back is roasted with. Yeah, man. It's yeah, man. Just get it. I mean, if you're down in Tennessee, it's tough down that way. It's tough down there. All right, stay off the turf. I didn't cut mine until late in the evening. Yeah. Charles, I think you and Robin are kind of talking back and forth there. Yeah, like I said, stay off the turf, man. Once it gets that dry and it's struggling and it's that stressed, staying off of it can be. I was actually talking to one of my neighbors about that, and I was like, staying off of it can be some of the best things that you can do to help a lawn survive a stressful period of time. Leave it alone, because it's amazing how Mother Nature will repair herself. Like she will fix it. A lot of times we try to do too much. We try to mess with it too much. And I don't know if you've noticed, but in some of my videos and some of the information and my approaches, I'm encouraging people to sometimes leave it alone. Like one of my phrases is put some water on it and leave it alone. That's during the summer. Sometimes that's the best thing. That's the best thing that you can do is put some water on it and leave it alone. But I mean, if you're dealing with disease pressure, known disease pressure, make sure you get out there and get your fungicide down. But sometimes we try to do too much. We try to do too much, man. Grass is growing on this planet without us for a long time, a long time. So Mother Nature will take care of herself, and it will repair. It needs a little bit of intervention from us at times, but sometimes making sure you got the right grass type down in the right area, give it what it needs, and sometimes you just kind of gotta sit back and let things happen. Nature's always gonna be nature, and you gotta learn to roll with the punches. All right. Greg, I think you just saying best time to seed around here is about mid October in Charlotte as well. Yeah, and yeah, as I was saying, man, I definitely think down in that Charlotte area, getting down or North Carolina area, period. I think that October time frame because y'all still pretty warm down there, so you will stay warm a good bit longer. So I think October is a good time period to go down with some seed. What's going on, Terrence? I see you just popped in here. What's happening? Let me see. Go. I need grass. You need a grass that won't spread or invade the garden. Trim it out. That's easy. Trim it out. Put you a nice live edge up against it. And then, I mean, I know a lot of people have talked about. I actually helped one of my neighbors. She's got mostly cool season, but of course she's got a lot of Bermuda that's down in the canopy, and it keeps growing up into her flower bed. And I'm like, I'll edge it out for you, and all you got to do is maintain it. So you can edge that out, and then as you cut on your weekly or bi-weekly cuts, go in there and just run your string trimmer along that edge. You've got your live edge cut in there, and then just go ahead and trim that out, and it'll keep it out of your beds. That is what I recommend doing for that. I like the aggressiveness of Bermuda. And I'll let y'all know that I would like to do some Bermuda testing with the iron cutter, which is from Mountain View Seed. I would like to convert my test plot, which is about 500 square feet. I would like to convert that to iron cutter Bermuda. That's what I would like to do, just so that I can test it, I can see it, I can grow some warm season, and then I could develop some experiences around warm season grass that I can now talk to y'all about because I'll have a little bit more experience with working with it. Right now, I don't have very much experience with warm season grasses because I'm not in a heavily warm season grass location. So that iron cutter from Bermuda is supposed to be really cold weather tolerant. So they are growing it up in New York. They're growing it up in Ohio. Ryan DeMay is growing in fields of Bermuda way up there in Ohio. I know it gets colder up there than it does here. So I'm interested in doing some warm season grass type stuff and expanding my portfolio. And I do have some warm season stuff coming up. That'll be coming up next year. Y'all be on the lookout for that. So I will be learning and studying warm season stuff, especially Bermuda, this fall. And I've got a lot to learn. I got to get this thing figured out. And this is gonna be on a pretty large scale than what I'm dealing with here with my lawn. So yeah, I'm excited about that. That should be some good content. And I think y'all enjoy that. I hope everything comes out. It works itself out. That I'm gonna be able to do that. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Uh, yeah. So that I think that takes care of your question about evading. I need to check that video out. All right, so I don't see any more questions that have come in. If you just joined, drop your questions in here if you have them. We did a run through on overseeding for cool season lawns. We've covered overseeding. We've covered renovations. We've talked about fertilizing and fungicides and everything else. So I'm gonna get ready to wrap this one up. If no one drops any more questions in here, well, I'll give it another minute or so. And I appreciate y'all joining. Again, like I said, the We Working team, we will definitely be coming back with some more lives and stuff as the fall winter time gets here. When schedules slow down a little bit. We've still been busy, as you see. We've still been working. We've been putting that content and everything out there for y'all. But the lives have just been difficult to for us to coordinate during the growing season. Polo's running a full business over there, and Polo's rolling out right now. But Polo's doing it. Polo's doing it. If you're not subscribed to Polo or you haven't checked this channel out, go over there to Polo Fields Lawn Service and make sure you hit that subscribe button if you like what you're seeing, and check those videos out. Polo's been real consistent with getting his content and his videos out there. So make sure y'all go over there, show him some love, and if you like what you see over there, follow along. Yeah, so we'll come back with some more information. We'll definitely be coming back with some more of these lives. I've been wanting to do a live for a while. I think I said this at the beginning of the show, is that I've had the urge to do a live recently, and I don't know why. But hey, more information is good to get to be able to interact with y'all, and talk lawn care. So CR, I see you can't wait for the Bermuda content. Yeah, I know you are. You've been wanting some Bermuda content for a while. I'm gonna try to bring you some. I'm gonna try to learn as much as I can this fall, and I'm gonna try to start bringing you. I hope all of this works out, and as I may have some good Bermuda content coming for you, and get to show you how to manage it. So I will no longer be, if this all works out, I will no longer be just cool season. I'll still be predominantly cool season, but I'll be learning a lot of the warm season stuff. I'm kind of ready for a new challenge. That'll definitely be a new challenge for me, learning that warm season stuff. And I say that it's from a cool season perspective, you can't kill Bermuda. I mean, it's got to be the easiest grass to grow out there, because you can't kill it. Even when you ding it up pretty bad, you know it's gonna come back during the growing season. You know it's gonna come back at some amount of time. It'll be right back. So, Deandra, you got another question. But can you recommend a good herbicide for weeds? I am a fan of, I like Speed Zone. So you said you are dealing with a cool season lawn down there. So I like Speed Zone. Speed Zone, I keep looking out the window because it's now raining again. Nice little seed, water, and rain. Yeah. I like that. I like that. Speed Zone, you need to get, I think it's got an 85, I think it's got 85 degree temperature window on that. That is a professional product. It'll need to be mixed and sprayed through some type of backpack sprayer or something like that. Not sure what type of equipment you have. Okay, you bought that. Yep. All right, cool. Speed Zone is my recommendation. And I think the overseed rate, check the label, but I think the seeding window, I think, is 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks on that. I think you've got to wait 2 weeks after spraying speed zone. Check the label. But 2 weeks is sticking out to me for your reseed window. And if that's the case, if you get it down this week, you wait 2 weeks, that'll get you to like the end of September. And if you go down if you go down on that third week, or which will be like that first or second week of October, you'll be right in the good window. So yeah, you'll be right there on where you need to be, and getting some on the right seeding window for down there in North Carolina. So yeah, I think you're on the right track. Hit those weeds. You got the speed zone. I really like speed zone. So hit them weeds. Get you a soil test. Aerate, seed, fertilization. Make sure you're feeding it good this fall, and I think you will be on the right track. Come out of fall, get your pre-emergent down in the spring. Not overseed. Get your pre-emergent down in the spring. Take care of any of those other weeds that are still hanging around, and make sure you get on a good fertilization program and you're watering. So yeah, go back and check my channel out. It's a lot of overall content on watering, fungicide applications, and recommendations. Watering is going to be key for you. Make sure you go get your watering and everything dialed in. I don't know if your lawn is irrigated or not. Even if it's not, get you some sprinklers and water hoses. You're going to be down in Charlotte. It's going to get hot and dry. So during the summer, you're going to need some way of getting water down, and you're going to need water for this overseeding. So if you're not irrigated, get you a little DIY irrigation setup going, and that will definitely get your seed and stuff germinated, and I think you'll be happy with those results. So yeah, no problem. Glad to help you there. CR, yes, Bermuda is the gift that keeps on giving. It never goes away. And one of the reasons I was talking about converting my test plot over to Bermuda is because, like I was just saying, my neighbor has a good amount of Bermuda over in her lawn that continues like to creep over. And I've killed off a lot of it that's in there when I did that full renovation on my test plot. But a lot of it is right back. And it's just there. So I mean, sometimes you can't beat them, join them. So being able to convert that over to Bermuda, hopefully I'd like to work something out with Mountain View Seed if we can get me a little bit of this Bermuda, this iron cutter. I don't need that much. I may learn how to sprig. I've never done a sprigging before. That'll be some good content for me to get the spring going. Let y'all know how to sprig, because I've heard people doing it. I've seen a little bit of it. Man, it's raining hard now. I can hear it in my headphones. But yeah, I've got to learn how to sprig, the ins and outs of doing that, and trying to get this Bermuda established. So I'd like to do that. I'd like to be able to do that. All right, y'all. I believe that is it on the questions. I don't see any more in here. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I'm going to say thank you all for joining. I definitely appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up on the way out if you have not already. I appreciate all the feedback. Thank you for the questions. I try to get to as many questions as I can between YouTube and IG. I'll go ahead and I get a lot of questions on there too. And so if you're not following me on IG, go give me a follow on IG, and you can get a little bit quicker response on seeing like what I'm doing, what's going on in the lawn, and what things are looking like, because I will post more timely, more up to date stuff on what's happening in the lawn on IG. So again, thank you all for the support. Thank you all for coming through, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. And I enjoyed this time. It's been a while since I've done a live. I was like, man, I'm gonna be a little rusty in doing a live, but this was fun. I had a good time. Charles, you came in with a question. Use Yeah, no, I will make sure I don't use that for the fertilizer. Yeah, I got you on that one. Yeah, man. All right, y'all have a good one. It was good to be back on the screen. It was good to do a live. Haven't done one in a while. So I'll catch y'all on the next one, and see y'all on the next go round.